So my question is, and I'm not asking you to do this, I'm asking this question. Will you, as a man with dignity, resign as the president, or will you force the membership to drag you out?
No, I'm not going to resign, and what you just said is not true. We utilize an interest arbitration process. We put the evidence out there in front of the arbitrator with people that have been doing this, one of them since the early 80s, one since the late 70s. And with our attorneys, we went through everything. Exactly what is summarized in the award is basically what we put in front of them. The arbitrator made the decision. I don't know where you get that narrative from, brother.
What exactly did you ask for that was different in the TA other than money?
We asked
when you went in front of Nolan and you said, well, we have these proposed changes to workroom. We don't want them anymore. We're not going to propose these changes anymore. Did you do that or did you not do that? You told me you want them, right?
No, you go through the work rule, the changes that are in there. He asked questions about them. We agree on what we're going to agree. We agree to modify some of them. We agree to change timelines. That stuff is guided by the official bargaining position of the NLC, the delegates of conventions.
Can you explain to me how that wasn't forced through?
We
voted no on it. We said no to those workroom
That's correct.
changes.
No.
And you said, I'll do it anyways.
The agreement was voted no. We went and we put the issues that matter the most, everyone in this room will agree, the economic issues.
I can tell you personally, sir, I voted no on the workroom changes solely based on the workroom changes.
Our Constitution does not provide for specific portions of a tentative agreement to be voted yes or no.
We voted no on the whole thing.
So what is the solution? To then abandon?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Hang on.
We voted no.
You do not abandon what the NLC Constitution, the processes it puts forward. Branches state associations submit resolutions. They go to the National Convention. They are debated. They are voted upon. Once they are adopted, those are the official bargaining positions of the union. Those that bargain for the union, me, are obligated to bargain those things. So what you are suggesting is that we should have gone into this process knowingly that the Postal Service was in agreement to include an official bargaining position of the NLC in the agreement, and we should have taken that away. That would clearly violate the duties of me and the Executive Vice President in Article 9 of the Constitution.
Can you provide copies of the resolutions that were passed at National Convention?
You can get copies of any resolution that you want, brother.
I'm asking.
They're everywhere. Talk to someone in your branch that's attended a convention. They have them all. If you have any that you don't, feel free to call Patrick's office. You can call Nicole Ryan at headquarters. We'll make them available. We're planning in the postal record, we're going to publish and cover all the things that were achieved. This collective bargaining agreement achieved more official bargaining positions than anyone in decades, in a number of years. There's lots of them. So let me ask you this. You voted to reject PTFs and CCAs getting annual leave advance at the beginning of the year?
I voted to reject the changes to 1260. I voted to reject the
if you wish,
16.7.
If you want the Constitution to provide a ratification process that includes a ratification vote or any form of whatever the process would be, that's up to whoever would potentially submit this. An amendment to the Constitution should be submitted by a branch that changes the ratification process in Article 16 to specific details. Then it would go to the convention. If submitted appropriately and on time, it would be debated and the delegates of the convention would decide. The Constitution does not provide for that type of ratification process. Everyone's going to have different opinions.
I will agree to disagree.
With what do you disagree?
Brother, those resolutions don't exist. You can't tell me they do. No one in this room would go against the 12-hour limit.
Are you telling me there's no resolution? You're telling me there's no resolution that exists to allow people to clock out and go home when they reach maximum work hours?
Are you telling me that there's a resolution that exists that allows people to work over 12 hours?
No, I'm not telling you that.
That was what you bargained for, sir.
No, what we bargained.
Yes, you did.
What we bargained is to allow people to end their tour on their own, no matter what management says, and go home when they reach maximum work hours, an official bargaining position of the NLC. So let's talk about, no, here's what it is right now. Right now, they can force anybody to work over. What's going to not be the case in the future is those that want to do it can do it, just like they can do it now, if management lets them. And those that don't want to do it, the contract protects them from discipline. So here, what changed? That's what changes.
What about CCAs?
Nothing changes. There's no change for CCAs or
I'm
PTS.
still waiting for you to answer the question. What resolution that was passed at a national convention was for carriers to volunteer to work over the 1260 limits?
I don't think there's not a
Exactly.
resolution.
So when we voted no, you should not have included that provision. You should have said, nope, we're not bringing this. This is out now.
The ability to go home.
Yes, and arbitrators have already had our side.
Yeah, where?
Without a board that
Where?
says that 12 hours is an absolute.
Where? Tell me where a case is.
When
Where?
it comes to discipline.
Tell me where a case, you tell me where arbitrators have granted protection from discipline. There's 3 places around the whole country. And then we'll talk about the cases we've lost, where they did not grant it. You know what? Now every single letter carrier, when they get to their maximum work hours, this bullshit of the last 35 years of interpreting Mittenthal's award wrong by NLC people and the Postal Service, gone. Protected from discipline, you clock out and go home. That's what the official bargaining position was, and that is what we
This
negotiated.
was a poor substitution for our already large staffing issue. That's what they got out of you. They got one on you, Brian.
No, they didn't get
They looked at
anything
you
on
and
me.
said, we're gonna have these people volunteer to work over 12 hours. I'm gonna have carriers who are brand new being forced to work over with the threat of being issued a letter of separation. That's gonna happen.
No,
I'm
you
gonna have
should-
brand new
perhaps you should-
CCAs
no, I
being
think-
told, keep going or you're fired. It's
Perhaps,
gonna happen.
no, I think you should read the new employee experience MOU. Takes care of those brand new carriers, that's a huge piece
They
of
can
this.
they can issue a letter of separation during your probationary period regardless of any reason.
Yeah, there's no
Those
change to
MOUs that
that.
you signed on, don't protect them.
Yeah, there's no change to that.
I know.
And you're not going, and no one else is going to negotiate that either.
And they're gonna be abused with it. Before, I could file a grievance of them working over and make them pay my monetary escalation. Management sat there and says, well, I'm not gonna pay that extra money. I'm not gonna do this to these people. Now, they're looking at me saying, good luck. I'm just gonna keep doing it. If they refuse, I'll fire them, I'll hire somebody else, and we'll do it all over again. That's what they're telling us already. That's what's gonna happen to
Yeah,
my
well,
members.
then just
Because
enforce
of your oversight.
No, enforce the agreement. Dude, you clearly do not have the contractual knowledge to have this
Do
conversation.
you not understand what a letter of separation is?
I
Have you ever
understand.
agreed to one, sir? Have you ever agreed to a letter of separation? What happens when he gets step beat? He gets thrown out. We don't win those. We don't win them.
Oh, you mean you send grievances to step B for people that didn't have access to the grievance procedure?
We tried filing grievances for people that get issued letter of separation in hopes that we might get one over on management.
And what's your point with this?
You left them open to further abuse.
What do you mean left them open?
You
There's
did.
no change.
Because there's no deterrent anymore.
There's no change to
They're not
access
being
to.
told to do something over a threat of being fired.
There's no change to grievance rights for anyone.
Okay, let me intervene. We got other people that got questions. Elliot, you made your opinion very clear. You made your
His
opinion
answer
very
is clear. He's gonna force us to drag him out.
All right, we can go move on to, we got people that got other questions.